All right, so we're happy and to be presenting Ask Me About PrEP, a 3-part campaign. And we'll show you each of the videos, or show you some of the videos that were produced as a result of this campaign. As was mentioned in my bio, as part of my full-time job of what I do day to day is I manage the HIV specialty or infectious disease specialty at Ultimate Health Services. So we're a pretty large primary care clinic. We are the largest federally qualified health center in the nation. So I think what's important for us is that as a large FQHC is that what we develop many times can be replicated at other smaller FQHCs. And we are in Los Angeles and Orange County. So video production and why we do our video production. We know the power of video and film and being able to reach large masses. When we started developing videos, we started with educational videos, realizing we had a captive audience within Ultimate of over 3,000 employees. So as we were looking at structural changes within our organization, we knew we had to develop cultural competency and education within our organization around LGBT as well as HIV and hepatitis C issues. So we developed a series of educational videos, and then also reaching our audience of our patients. So again, being a large FQHCs with 24 clinic sites, being able to market and share our resources and services that were available within our organization. So we started, in a way, producing commercials for our services and really educating patients using our televisions in each of the clinic waiting rooms to educate them about PrEP, educate them about HIV 101, educate them about Hep C and behavioral health. And our video production, when we were looking outside of our 4 walls and being able to reach a much larger audience, we looked at social marketing. And so we were able to develop a series of campaigns. Of our most successful campaign is our Sin Vergüenza telenovela web series. And really looking at the importance of storytelling and storytelling of minority communities and LGBT communities. So that has kind of been our niche. And as we move forward, just because of the success we've had on each of the campaigns, we really look at it as a vehicle of sending a message around PrEP, around HIV prevention messages. So this is kind of our portfolio, or I call it our little internal Netflix of Ultimate of video production. So HIV campaign, so the one that started it all, top, bottom, verse. So we started with condom campaign. So back then in 2012, that was kind of our focus in HIV prevention. So we really wanted to have conversations around sexual health, sexual positions within gay men. And so we produced top, bottom, verse condom campaign. Next, we produced our Sin Vergüenza telenovela web series, being able to address HIV in the Latino community. And this was really, again, as we were developing our campaigns, how are we addressing social and cultural issues among communities of color, among Latinos, to be able to integrate messages about HIV prevention. And again, the best way we felt to do so was be able to do so through storytelling. We did a smaller campaign, which was our Friends with Benefits, which is like a refer a friend program within Ultimate. It was much smaller, so again, that's probably why you haven't heard about it. And then we expanded. As we did Sin Vergüenza, we did it in a way that was bilingual, so in English and in Spanish. So we wanted to incorporate that into our condom campaign. And so we did our condom campaign, top, bottom, verse, activo, pasivo 2.0. And then in 2012, so even though PrEP was approved, our FDA approved in July 2012, we didn't see funding come available for outreach education, not until about 3 years later. And that's where we had the opportunity to develop our Listo campaign. And our Listo campaign, primarily targeting Latino gay men, really communicates a message about how easy it is to incorporate PrEP into a daily routine and being able to have vignettes that demonstrate times and opportunities and different daily routines of gay men that PrEP can be incorporated. And then in 2016, because again, the success of Sin Vergüenza Season 1, really it was being able to address what happens after a diagnosis. So that's where we launched our Season 2 campaign with hopes and intentions of being able to develop Season 3 by the end of this year. So where are we today? Again, with all those campaigns that were developed, we're really at a place where we're trying to promote the gold standard of HIV prevention. So went from discussing condom use to being very focused on PrEP, to being able to integrate that all together. So that is a complete message around overall sexual health. So how are we integrating our communicating message about the importance of continuing to use condoms, but also conversations around sexual health and what communication looks, and being able to address sexual health, being able to address mental health tied to sexual health issues. And really today it's about inspiring PrEP demand. So what we see is the disparities in PrEP and who's accessing PrEP. And what we continue to hear conversation after conversation, meeting after meeting, is our inability to reach Latinos, our inability to reach African American men and women, and our inability to reach transgender women. So for us, it was really looking at what's the community need to be able to reach and bring messages for these specific communities. And really the development and I already say the success because I do foresee them being successful. It really comes from community partnership. UltiMed realized this was outside of our comfort zone, and I think we knew community members were going to come with us with asking questions. How is your team representative of the communities that are being served? And so while we come in with expertise in social marketing development and video production, the area that we needed was collaborations from community partners and stakeholders to help us in developing these videos. And so we were able to bring together stakeholders from each of the different communities, providers, transgender community, and also the African American community to help us in developing this. So there was a series, a process of pre-production, which included focus groups, stakeholder meetings, and conversations with key individuals in helping us to develop what were the messaging. We also looked at research, working and partnering with the Center of Excellence for Transgender Health, who's done extensive research around transgender health issues and PrEP. And being able to look at the research, what was it saying, but then also being able to work one-on-one with stakeholders to say, what are the messages that are important, and what are those social, cultural nuances that need to be part of this video. And I know Eric previously mentioned the importance of sex work, and for our trans women videos, that was something that we heard over and over from our stakeholders. We need to address that. And I think initially, I think there was hesitation because we want to be politically correct in what we're addressing, but the trans women said we can't ignore this issue as being an issue of trans women. So that was something that we incorporated. So also kind of tied to our partnership, State Office of AIDS has been very supportive of all of our campaigns, realizing that, again, moving outside of our four walls, or moving outside of our LA region is making statewide campaigns. So they are the supporter of these three-part series. Our other collaborations have included Cavich Reynolds Productions, and they're really responsible for the professionalism of our video development. They are the professionals tied to filmmaking and have worked with us through each of our campaigns in developing our films. And we also work with Bond Media Group, an African-American gay-identified production company who has produced a series. And so they were our scriptwriters for the Kiki and Brunch campaign. And then most central, because I know what everyone says, well, that's great that you're increasing awareness in the community, but how are you getting people tied and connected into services? So again, realizing that UltiMed was regional to LA, that we are a provider in LA and Orange County for PrEP services, we needed to partner with a resource director who was statewide. And so we've been working closely with Shannon Weber and the pleaseprepme.org and being able to connect our campaigns. So as people see these campaigns, whether it's video or they see a promotional item, they're able to be able to get connected to a local resource in their area. And then so today we're presenting our three-part series. We have a provider PrEP training video, which launched December 2016. Again, these are fairly new campaigns that are coming out. Kiki and Brunch, which launched in February 2017, and then our Fierce Aya. Again, this is a bilingual campaign that launches this Friday on April 14th, tomorrow. Now I'm going to invite Dr. Sandoval to come up.
So we'll give you all the opportunity to watch the videos for the provider. You could just give it a quick moment. While this is being brought up, in developing this campaign, one of the fundamental pieces that we felt that needed to be incorporated in this campaign was a provider-specific effort. What we heard from our focus groups and our stakeholder meetings was that there were a lot of challenges when folks were walking over to their provider and saying, hey, I want to consider PrEP. So when we had folks... getting some technical issues. So we have individuals in the community who are saying, I really think that this would be a good fit for me, or can I know more? We had providers who were actually inclined to discourage folks to access PrEP. So I know I'm speaking to the choir here, but it was really an important piece, and so we opted to develop a short video set specific for providers. So we'll let you watch.
It's on my mind every day.
You try to be safe, but you just never know.
Today's test came back negative, but what about next time?
We're talking about HIV, and it's real.
But there is something we can do about it.
Whether we're gay,
Trans,
Have an HIV-positive sexual partner?
Or sexually active without always using condoms.
There is a way to dramatically reduce the chance of contracting HIV. It's called pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP.
And it's been FDA approved since 2012 with minimal side effects.
When taken every day by those who are HIV negative, Truvada as PrEP has proven to be over 90% effective at stopping HIV transmission. PrEP is a powerful HIV prevention tool. Combined with condoms and other prevention methods, it can dramatically reduce the chances of HIV transmission. PrEP is already an effective treatment option for persons living with HIV.
So why don't more of us in the community know about it?
And why aren't more doctors prescribing it?
There are lots of reasons.
first, some of those who could benefit the most from PrEP don't even know about it.
people might think it's too expensive or don't know where to get it.
Or it has too many side effects.
And some providers aren't yet convinced about PrEP's efficacy, or that their patients will be able to adhere to a daily treatment regimen. And just maybe some providers may not feel comfortable discussing issues of sexuality and gender identity with patients. Perhaps some providers have conscious or unconscious biases against the LGBTQ community that impact the quality of care. And still others might fear their patients will forego other safer sex practices. But recent research has demonstrated that PrEP has dramatically reduced the rate of HIV transmission.
It might not be for everyone, but PrEP is a powerful opportunity to reduce the rates of HIV transmission in the communities most impacted by it.
Please take a moment to view this video, which will give you helpful guidelines on how to screen, counsel, and treat your patients who could benefit from PrEP. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP, is a relatively new and very promising way to prevent the spread of HIV. Truvada as PrEP is a combination of two medicines, tenofovir and emtricitabine. These antiviral drugs, originally approved by the FDA in 2008 for HIV treatment, work by preventing HIV cells from multiplying in the body. While it is not for everyone, and not intended to substitute for condom use, PrEP is a powerful line of defense, especially for those at elevated risk of contracting HIV. These include gay or bisexual men, trans women, individuals who have multiple sex partners, those who are HIV negative in sexual relationships with HIV positive or non-monogamous partners, and people who have recently or repeatedly tested positive for other sexually transmitted diseases. Taken daily, PrEP has proven to be over 90% effective in reducing HIV transmission, which means it plays an important role in preventing the spread of HIV. Now, how do you identify individuals in your patient community who can benefit from PrEP? Their medical history can be a great source of clues. This syphilis infection, I saw from the medical records that this is actually your second infection of syphilis in the past few months. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned to my nurse that you do have more than one active sexual partner. Is that right?
That would be right.
Okay. And are these partners men, women, or transgender persons?
Just men.
Okay. Well, as you probably know, condoms are the best and most effective way we know of to prevent most sexually transmitted diseases, like syphilis, for example. So I want to remind you to use condoms consistently with any kind of intercourse. But for HIV in particular, there is another way that you can protect yourself, and it's called PrEP. Assessing a patient's sexual profile isn't always as quick or easy, and the only way to know is to ask. Being proactive can help cut through uncomfortable barriers, but you should only do so with your patient's trust and confidence. And it's definitely something I think you would be eligible for. There are other markers you can use to identify potential PrEP candidates.
Every 6 months.
That's really good that you're proactive and get tested every 6 months, especially since your husband's HIV positive.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We don't always use protection, but he's undetectable, so I know my risks are a lot lower.
That's true. Your risk is a lot lower because he's undetectable, but it's not zero. But we want to make sure you don't seroconvert. There is a pill you can take once a day that decreases your chance of converting by 90%.
Really?
Yep. It's called PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis. You take it once a day.
Other high-risk patients include those who repeatedly test for HIV.
Each time I come back negative, but it just feels like I'm rolling the dice.
Yeah, I understand your concern. I would also be worried that you have to constantly keep testing and being worried about turning positive. So that's why I think PrEP is a good option for you.
I know, I know people who take it, but I'm just worried about having to take a pill every day.
A lot of patients have the same concern. They don't want to commit themselves to taking a pill every day, but many people are able to take a vitamin every day because they know it's good for their health. And in the case of PrEP, taking one pill a day could prevent getting HIV.
I've known people who've taken PrEP. Isn't that the same thing?
PEP is a little bit different from PrEP. PEP is post-exposure prophylaxis. So you take a number of pills for a month after you were exposed to HIV. In this case, you're taking one pill a day to prevent getting HIV in the first place. And you can
There may be situations where access to PrEP or to the level of counseling and monitoring required for successful treatment regimens may feel limited. You can help your patients achieve better outcomes through California's statewide resources. And of course, if your patients want to know more, you need to know how to help them take the next step,
So you're interested in PrEP?
especially if they show interest.
So how does it work?
So we'll draw some blood today, test you for HIV and hepatitis B, and check your liver functions. And when I get those results back, I'll call you in and we'll give you a prescription for about 3 months worth.
Are there any side effects?
Well, just like any medication, there are some side effects. Most are known to be minor. The more serious side effects include lactic acidosis and liver disease. But once you start, I'll have you back every 3 months, so we'll check your labs and I'll see how you're responding.
That's not so bad, especially if it keeps me from getting HIV.
Because of its outstanding success, PrEP is rapidly becoming the standard of care for those at higher risk of HIV infection. You play an important role in ensuring that the patients under your care know about and are receiving the best possible treatment to prevent the transmission of HIV.
So as you saw, this video really is intended to promote awareness for primary care physicians, and it's also intended to plant the seed that it's an important conversation in which individuals want to have and need to have. So the intention behind this specific campaign is, one, to identify individuals and folks who would be good candidates for PrEP, inform and educate for providers, not only for them as physicians, but also to inform the community, and then finally get them into service. And in this case, it would be with our program, but really this campaign is part of a statewide effort. Oops, wrong one. So clearly, this is not the go-to all for providers, but it is intended to follow specific CDC recommendations. And so this specific campaign is designed to follow the CDC recommendations and address some of the main issues that are being brought forth by the CDC. So not only did we base this specific series on the guidelines, but we also focused on bringing in some stakeholders. So we met with different providers in the primary care setting, and we asked them with respects to if they knew about PrEP and different variables associated to this treatment option. And so we found that much of what we find in the CDC outcomes with respects to PrEP and primary care providers being 1 in 3 is really consistent with our providers that we met with before we actually developed this campaign. So as you saw, video 1 is really a PrEP overview. It provides specific healthcare information to providers and is designed to raise awareness on the effectiveness of this treatment option. It is also designed to target specific questions. So what is PrEP? What are the community needs? Key elements for this specific treatment option, and then provider concerns. So including drug resistance, risk compensation, treatment adherence, and access. For video 2, we really wanted to take a moment to model the exchange between a patient and a provider. It is many times noted in conversations that we've had with providers that there are some questions with respects to sexual practices that are not always readily discussed or openly discussed. There is discomfort, there are personal biases, there are just issues of time. And so we really wanted to identify a way in which the conversation can in fact start for providers and simplify the process for them. And so we definitely wanted to provide scenarios that conducted a brief sexual health history and then address the PrEP usage. So part of our effort, it is on the social media platform, but part of our effort for this campaign is to start to look at the effectiveness of this specific tool for providers. And so what we did internally within the Ultimate system is that we started meeting with our primary care physicians and started asking them about PrEP, and we presented the set of videos. At the end, we did ask a series of questions in a survey format, and we wanted to know, one, what was their experience with PrEP? Surprisingly, we actually found that there are similarities with the CDC outcomes on a national level within our system. So what we did find that about 26% had no knowledge of PrEP, and an additional 14% had minimal knowledge. And so we really wanted to take that opportunity to say, hey, how can we give you this resource and provide you this information that you can improve the health outcomes for your patients? So we had a total of 52 providers. These are prescribing providers, consisted of physicians, PCPs, physician assistants, and nurse practitioners. We provided a simple 5-point Likert scale with a series of questions on assessing for knowledge, both before and after. You know, the outcomes are pretty important, where we're looking at, okay, so before, how much did they know? As you can see, we have a split. So before we have 14 and 20 respondents who saying no knowledge or neutral knowledge or minimal knowledge, to really moving the scale to the opposite end and really highlighting, yes, I now have knowledge on this intervention and this PrEP option for my patients. We also asked a question on the intention to use. So prior to the videos, we asked them, you know, have you used it or did you intend to use it? And the outcomes really represent that no, most individuals that we assessed, that we surveyed, indicated no, that was not part of their practice in serving the patients that the type of treatment that they serve their patients. And after, the outcome was really surprising and really pleasant. That we had a significant number highlighting that yes, they do intend to use the skills that they learned during the videos as a form to improve the access to their patients and the type of care that they provided. Another item that we really wanted to highlight is that the confidence in prescribing this type of treatment. So provider confidence is one element that we wanted to assess as well. And so prior to the videos, we had about a 48% result of providers who indicated that they did not feel confident in even having the discussion on PrEP-related issues with their patients. And at the end, we had a 65% outcome, where they saying that yes, they felt good, or they felt confident in having these discussions with their patients. And so really one element that we wanted to highlight is the intention to use this specific intervention. If we have a 65% improvement rate for providers, and they're saying, you know, this is not a typical treatment option that they discuss with their patients, and after they see the video, at least it plants the seeds and it allows them for considering this treatment as a successful tool for their patients. I think we've done our job. And so with these initial results from the surveys that we have completed with our providers within the Ultimate system, we definitely feel hopeful. It's giving us some really positive preliminary outcomes that we hope to do more within other healthcare settings. Okay.
All right, who's ready for a Kiki? So we talked about changing our approach, right? So if you see our provider videos, very educational. The takeaway is increasing knowledge, increasing competency. Now, when we look at addressing and reaching the African American gay and bisexual men, we know our approach has to be different. So we're now going to show you our Kiki and Brunch video, which is a bit more lively, a bit more entertaining, and we'll show you that, and then we'll get back to a little bit about the campaign.
Okay.
When you see me, top or bottom?
A fool, that's what it is. Okay, well, you definitely make your presence known. Let's see, you are opinionated with a strong personality, and that's not a bad thing. But since you are so dominant in the world, I would have to guess that you scale back in the bedroom and you're a bottom. Okay, wait. Can I ask a question?
Go right ahead.
It applies to everyone. What is your body count?
Excuse me?
How many men have you smashed? Come on.
I like your style, Julia.
I don't. This is the first time you're meeting me. You ask me a question like that.
Okay, well, you don't have to answer, so...
Ease up, Julian.
Are you going to answer the question or not?
Child, please. You are running me low.
Fine. Go back to the previous one.
Well, love is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and once you get it, you have to hold on to it, because if you let it go, that's it.
What if your partner cheats?
Cheats? Baby, let me tell you something. You seen the way I bounced this ass?
Yes!
Put that away.
But just in case some fish comes along and snatches him up, I think I could love him through that.
What world do you live in?
A world where it doesn't matter how cute you are, how much money you have, or how long that bird is, honey, you just might get cheated on.
I'm not pressed on falling in love. I mean, if it happens, cool. And if not, oh well, life will be just fine.
As long as I end up with someone with money in the bank. Okay.
I believe that there's a chance for love in every relationship, assuming both parties are willing to put in the work.
It has nothing to do with work. Either it's there or it's not. I think what most of y'all need to read up on is lust, because that's what y'all out here doing.
Who did it? Who hurt you, boo-boo?
Oh, here you go.
Love is all I really know. I mean, my parents have been married for over 30 years, and that is what I want for my life. And I'm willing to do whatever that takes.
Whatever it takes? That sounds desperate.
No, it doesn't.
Bye.
It's a little desperate.
Chelsea. That's not desperate. What's up, man?
It's just a guy I was supposed to hang out with later. He just flaked on me.
David, right?
Bernard.
Why? Because you're not down to bareback?
Bernard, do tell.
There's not really anything to tell. I mean, we met online a few weeks ago, and today was supposed to be the first time that we actually met face-to-face, but obviously that's not going to happen.
What app is it, if you don't mind me asking?
We didn't meet on an app, per se. He saw me comment on a friend's post, and then he just sort of slid into my DMs.
That is bold.
No, that's pretty common.
Yeah.
Is that really how people are meeting nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, I've done that a few times.
Yeah, why? You are a good-looking guy, that is not something that you should have to do.
You make it sound so bottom of the barrel.
Well, it is, kind of.
Wait a minute. I'm not gonna front. See, you know, sliding in the DM is hella thirsty, but I've done it before and it's turned out to be some of the best D I've ever had.
See, there you go again holding out. What's the tea?
Well, let me just let you
Hold on. Before we get into all that, can we get back to Alonzo?
Guys, I'm glad he canceled.
Okay, whatever.
No. Listen, guys, listen. Now, you all know that I'm nothing like I am on social media.
Yeah, but you guys know he took a bus pass to get here.
Oh, bitch, you tried it.
You did.
You tried it.
I saw you on the number 9.
So, yeah, who cares if you're not working right now? That does not take away from the fact that you are smart, funny, and easy on the eyes.
Ooh.
I like him. You should bring him back.
Well, since Alonzo's being honest, I have something I want to get off my chest.
What is it?
Come on, therapy.
Go for it.
I'm starting to notice I only attract black men.
Well, what's the problem with that?
Well, the problem is I want to mix it up every now and then.
Well, you used to attract Latin men all the time. What changed?
I don't know. Marco, would you care to enlighten us?
Zams, Eddie.
Well, no, part of your problem might be that you are a little crazy on social media.
That has nothing to do with it.
Okay,
So don't even go there.
It ain't because she a mess, honey. It's because of this hair. Honey, it grows and it grows, and other men just don't want to deal with that.
I need me a Latin daddy.
Can you handle a Latino daddy? Can you handle all that? I don't know.
Okay, that was strange.
You know, I saw you take a pill last week at brunch. What's the deal? Is there something you want to tell us?
What's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me. It's PrEP. And I've been taking it for about 3 weeks now. It prevents HIV.
So we can stop using condoms?
No, absolutely not. It's just in case an accident happens and the condom breaks and you get exposed. PrEP prevents HIV in the body.
No shit.
You really didn't know about this?
And it works?
Yes, but I mean, obviously you do have to worry about STDs as well.
Man, please, don't believe the hype. That is a setup.
It sounds like a step in the right direction.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why haven't I heard about this before?
Because it's relatively new, and I wish it had caught on quicker, but at least now people are at least engaging in the conversation.
Yeah, I'm actually taking it too.
Really? How'd you hear about it?
Well, there's been talk about it among friends, but my cousin is the one who actually got me to take it. She figures I could benefit from it.
Because you're gay?
Because anybody can be careless in the heat of the moment.
If PrEP is so life-changing, why have you not told us about this before?
Did you not see how you all just reacted when I took that pill?
Y'all were damn foolish.
Thank you.
Don't do it. I'm telling you, y'all finna end up with that lifetime itch.
Silas, don't be ignorant. Don't
be
ignorant.
quiet.
Do not be ignorant. 8, by the way.
8 what?
To answer your question from earlier, the answer is 8. I am proud to say that I am 22 years old and I have only been with 8 men.
You go, Glenn Coco.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, who's buying me another drink?
You can go straight to hell. Remember, I took the bus here?
I know you don't have it.
Hey, I got you. What are you drinking?
Anything. Just make sure that bartender puts a little extra cock in that tail.
You realize
Yeah, bring that cock up. Pass that cock around.
All right, so as we get back to the presentation, what you see in this video is really the modeling of conversations, right? Making it casual, as we showed it to different stakeholders and as we've been showing it around in the community, everyone says, I see ourselves doing that. We go to brunch, we have conversations about everything and anything. The missing piece is a conversation about PrEP. So we incorporated that PrEP into the conversation as they were talking about other issues. For us, as we were developing the video and going through the script writing and editing, we were concerned that bringing and mentioning PrEP so late in the conversation of the video would not capture our audience. And what we found, though, is that specific with our stakeholders is they said that's key, because if you start promoting PrEP initially right at the beginning of the video, you're going to lose your audience. So again, that was tactful in where we were placing messages about PrEP. So again, this is really about, about reaching young African-American gay and bisexual men and increasing awareness and uptake. So it is a scripted segment. It seems very casual. Brunch, again, being an occasion that many gay men partake in, again, making it fun, entertaining, and being able to model conversations around PrEP. Some of the things that we did address when we looked at racism, homophobia, shame and stigma, poverty, and medical distrust. If you look at the character of Silas, who says you're going to get that lifetime itch, who's very skeptical about PrEP, that's how we represented the mistrust in the community. We also looked at discrimination, and we also addressed poverty, right? Addressing, this idea that he's possibly taking the bus. So being able to incorporate those messages in in the messaging within this video. All right. And then we're going to hold off on question and answers just so that we can go through each of the campaigns. So next, we're going to be presenting our Fierce campaign, our Fierce EA campaign. So you're going to see another video.
This is nice, being in the arms of my fine man. But I still have to take care of business.
Don't get up. I have to check my messages.
I know he wants me, and that makes me feel good. But I always wonder if I'm truly safe with him.
You look beautiful.
He always knows the right thing to say. I do love him, but my health comes first. And as I take my PrEP pill, he says,
I don't know why you take that, babe. You know I got you.
I'm just trying to take care of the both of us, babe.
In a world that doesn't always support us, we have to support each other. It seemed like everybody was there.
Hello, doll. You look so gorgeous.
Thank you, Isabella. Thank you so much for helping me. I really couldn't have done this without you.
Oh, you know that you've done this all on your own. Well, I mean, you did listen to my advice.
Girl, did you get on PrEP yet?
I sure did, girl. Yeah, I went to see the doctor. I mean, he was so good. I honestly feel that it was the best decision that I've made for myself.
I'm so glad. It's changed my life so much.
Right?
Yes, I don't have to worry about HIV anymore.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I know you're going to win.
Can you pass me the water? It's time for my pill.
I am so proud of how you've been taking control of your life. Sweetie.
Oh, thank you so much.
Good luck.
I was so proud of her, but what's important is that she was proud of herself. I got my girls. We stick together. It was a glorious night.
Well, as you saw on the videos, we really want to recognize Maria Roman and Sibel Simone, who are two commissioners who. Thank you so much. Yes, they were amazing support, not only of the campaign as participants, but really, as Natalie mentioned in the beginning, as key collaborators in helping develop the dialogue and some of the key words that are more common within the transgender community. And why target the trans community? As we all know and we understand, trans women really experience different issues than the general population. 41 attempt suicide, 19 report being refused medical care because of their gender non-conforming status. As along with other issues such as trans women are 49 times more likely to have HIV than other adults. They face social and economic marginalization, high unemployment rate and sex work, limited access to health care, and lack of family support. If you attend tomorrow's premiere, you will see in the other vignettes that that these social determinants of health and these other access issues are really well represented. And what we wanted to do, we really wanted to focus and really highlight that these are the things that keep women, trans women, from getting into PrEP, and many do not have the access, not necessarily because they don't want to, but because they don't know where to go and how to. So in our attempt to educate our providers, we developed the provider video. And so we wanted to make sure that that was covered and that trans women were represented in that interaction as well. So when we launched this video, that our providers would be prepared to receive trans women. So some of the goals for this campaign was really to increase PrEP knowledge, increase PrEP awareness as an effective prevention tool for trans women, empower, most importantly, trans women to request PrEP, and model the conversations with medical providers on trans-specific concerns such as hormone interaction. In a way to address the barriers to access PrEP, the videos really focus on transphobia, distrust in intimate partner relationships, lack of support and mentorship among trans women, equality in healthcare access, so that's provider competency, and isolation, camaraderie, and unity among trans women. As we were doing the focus groups, we held a focus group in Sacramento, another one in San Diego, and a third one in Palm Springs. The common thread among all focus group participants was the lack of unity within the trans community. So we really wanted to highlight in this last video that you all saw that unity is very important, and that empowering each other really makes a difference. And so tomorrow would be the premiere. You all got to see two of the four vignettes that we're going to be premiering tomorrow, and this is in collaboration and hosted by the Trans Latina Coalition. So there is still space available for those of you who wish to attend, and it's going to be tomorrow from 7 to 9 at Plaza de la Cultura y las Artes. Now I'm going to turn the mic to Ramon Garcia, who's our marketing manager.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So now I'm going to speak about the marketing strategy. I'm going to focus a little bit more on the digital aspects. I know there was a lot of other goals that were, that we spoke about, but some of those goals are difficult to quantify within our reach. So the one thing that I know I could quantify is some of our digital metrics, right? So our goal metrics. So our first one is our campaign reach, which pretty much means how many eyeballs are seeing these videos or interacting with these videos. The second one is post-engagement. So post-engagement, I find it to be sometimes the most important metric. because this is actually very organic. These are likes, shares, and comments that come out in your post. So you can't pay for this stuff. Like you can't pay someone to like your stuff. You know, they have to actually like it in order to like your post. And so I find that one to be the most important because it shows how much people are really engaged with our videos and our campaign, and at the same time, is the most difficult to achieve as well. The second one is view. The third one is views. So this is a way to see that, you know, we actually got a good number of views, that a lot of people actually did see the videos. And there's other breakdowns within the views that they're also looking at, as far as the completion rate, how many people saw 100% of the video, how many people saw only 50% of the video. And so we kind of get to see those metrics and kind of understand which campaign was a bit more successful and what can we do to adjust it. Then the fourth one is web page hits, and I'll get into a little bit deeper as far as like what the whole strategy is, but we're also looking to get about 75,000 web page hits. So this is kind of breaking down this very complex strategy, just kind of simplifying it. So the way that I see it is we're looking for PCPs, MSMs, and trans women out there. But how are we going to find them, right? So the way that we've tried to find them is, one is through partnerships in 3 ways, right? The one that we spoke about was doing research with these partners who are the voice and who work with these community members. And so they're able to give us those nuances as far as like, you know, these are the questions we're asking. This is kind of what the community gravitates towards. And then second is actually producing it, right? So we have partnerships with organizations, professional organizations, who are helping us execute the videos, execute the marketing strategy. And then lastly is a partnership of dissemination, is actually working with members of the community like yourselves who have your own reach, who have your own community members, that you guys will be able to help us increase this awareness through these campaigns, through these tools that we're creating. And then the other way to reach them is through an online presence. And so we've able to do this through Alta Pride. Alta Pride is social media platforms that, you know, include Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and Snapchat. So this is just our social media platforms where we're able to find different avenues of MSMs and PCPs and trans women out there in the community that we're able to interact with them, you know. So the idea is to like find these people and then funnel them into a landing page through askmeaboutprep.org. And then from there, once they come to this landing page, they'll be able to find a lot of resources. And so that's kind of the essence of the campaign, is kind of finding people, funneling them into a website, and then being able to access resources. So we're going to start with talking about askmeaboutprep.org. So this is actually something that we learned from the previous campaigns from Sinvergüenza. So when we did the first season, basically we just made videos and put them up on YouTube. And so we realized that it was very difficult for a lot of people to access them, especially people who do not go to YouTube or are on YouTube a lot. So we kind of figured that, you know, we kind of siloed ourselves to a certain community that only watches YouTube videos, you know? And so we wanted to kind of centralize, and it was also like multiple videos, so it was difficult to find one video to the next video. So what we learned is that, you know, let's make a website where we're going to centralize all the videos, centralize all the information, and kind of funnel everyone into that one site. And so we created svseries.com, which you guys go check it out. And so what we realized with that page, once we created that page, was that we did a lot of tabs. And so we definitely underestimated the, for lack of better words, the laziness of people online of like doing multiple clicks. And so what happened is that we got a lot of people coming to our homepage, but not that many people move on to the other pages, you know? And so with askmeaboutprep.org, what we did is basically one landing page is one page. You just scroll down, you get all the information on that one page. So you'll be able to access all the videos, get your information, get your links. And then we try not to make it too wordy, just because, again, the laziness. So we don't, people are not wanting to like read a lot online, and so they're just trying to look at videos, look at cool pictures. And so we were able to create this web page that houses all the videos that we've created. And so we created Ask Me About PrEP kind of as a master brand, which is basically this brand encompasses all of PrEP, and then within there's a lot of other targeted videos. So within Ask Me About PrEP, we're able to add in, all the videos that you guys saw, the Kiki and Brunch, Fierce Aya, and the Provider PrEP. But we were also able to incorporate Listo, which was another campaign that we had done that was about PrEP. And so this kind of opened the door for even future projects that we could just continue to add on to the repertoire of Ask Me About PrEP. And then one important thing about Ask Me About PrEP is that we did partner with pleaseprepme.org, which is you guys haven't heard of them, they're like a PrEP directory where you basically put your zip code and then you'll be able to find the closest PrEP provider to you. And so that was kind of one of our biggest partnerships in order to connect and connect people to resources within their area, within their community. And so we spoke about partnerships. So partnerships is we're trying to work with 20+ agencies out in the community. We're trying to focus in California. We're looking to do like presentations on PrEP, trying to reach people and kind of create this awareness about PrEP and start those conversations. And then we have also created media box kits, which we have some here available for you guys, for those who are interested to partner up, where you'll be able to get palm cards, which is basically business card size kind of flyers, you could say, postcards, which are a little bit bigger, and even counter cards that you could put on your on your desk in the office or whatnot, And so this is our way to kind of work with partners and give them tools and give them some marketing materials where they again could send people to the landing page or start those conversations, and then we'll be able to give them some PrEP resources. So Alta Pride, I spoke about it a little bit earlier. It's our social media platform. So I'm actually really proud of this one because we work in Ultimate, which is, as you guys have heard before, it's not only HIV. There's a lot of other. It's a larger enterprise that has multiple divisions, and so for Ultimate to break away from their, kind of enterprise-wide brand and just kind of having their Ultimate, all-encompassing brand and platforms or whatnot, we fought hard to kind of make a case to say, hey, we're targeting this niche community that, it's very difficult to attract with what we're having with the master brand. And so it took several years of talking and convincing in meetings. And so in October 2016, we were able to open up Alta Pride platforms, which is kind of like a sub-brand within the big Ultimate social media platforms. And so what we're trying to do with this platform is to create a following of people who are going to be receptive to the messages, who are in need of the messages that we're pushing out there, and so kind of creating you could say like a group of people with common interests that will be engaging to the content that we're throwing out there. So if you have too many people with too many ideas, two different points of views, or just not focused on the same interests, you'll post something, you'll get a good reaction on once, or you'll sometimes get like really bad reactions, very negative stuff. A lot of what we've seen is a lot of like homophobic stuff and things like that definitely is not what we're trying to represent. And so we're trying to create a safe space where of people with common interests, And so as part of the strategy is to create a large following within Alta Pride, so that when these campaigns come out, there's already a pool of people, you could say, who are already engaged with this content. So when these videos come out, or when the next campaign comes out, it's no longer trying to start from scratch. It's like, oh yeah, we know Alta Pride. We've been watching this. Oh, okay. Oh, cool campaign. So they're already engaged. They're already in tune, opposed to having to start and recreate the wheel all over again. And so within, about 5-6 months, since October 2016, we've gotten about over 14,000 members, where 41% of them are men, ages 18 to 34, with LGBTQ interest. So it's really good to say that we're honing down to the community that I think would be most interested or in need of people that we're targeting for these campaigns. So it's good to hear that a large population of the people in Alta Pride are actual members of that community that we're trying to target. And so when we have Alta Pride and we're rolling out the video, so right now we're still in the phase of trying to create a large following. So as part of the strategic move that we did, we launched Kiki and Brunch in February. but we've blacked it out with any media buys because we're still trying to organically grow the site. So, and then we want to do like I guess we call it like a full-blown attack when Fierce campaign comes out, so that there could be a lot of engagement and there could be a lot of things coming at the same time that's going to be keeping them very motivated to keep watching the videos. And so we did some ad tests to kind of be smart about how we're going to promote this. So what this basically means is that we did little cuts of the Kiki and Brunch video into different segments, either 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or 1 minute videos, where we're able to see what was the engagement within that, and then what videos were more popular than others, and again, what's the cost per view. So although we do have some organic views, some of the views that we get are paid views, meaning that we're kind of putting it into people's faces so that they could watch it, and then we get to see what percentages of people actually watch it, you know. So let you guys know, I think this one was kind of one of the most popular one, and this is the piece where in Kiki and Brunch where he takes a pill, then like the music stops, and then like, you know, kind of everyone's like, oh, what's going on? That's the segment that got cut, and I think got the most popularity and engagement. And then, so for the ad test that we did, so this was a 1-week ad test. So what we were able to find was that we were able to reach about 31,000 people. We got about 15,000 views. We got an engagement of 2,800, which I think is phenomenal. I think that's again organically people liking it, commenting, or sharing it to other people, and then 1,700 web page hits. And so tomorrow we're launching the Fierce AI campaign, and so with that we're gonna also be doing media buys for Kiki and Brunch and for Provider PrEP in order to kind of do a full-blown Ask Me About PrEP campaign. So I guess that concludes the presentation. So if you guys have any questions or